What's up, traders? Zach here from the Trading Network. I hope you guys are doing well. I am back with yet another weekly market profile forecast for both the ES and NQ futures markets. For those of you guys new to the channel, first and foremost, welcome. What we do here in this video series is we discuss key inflection points for the ES and NQ futures markets based on daily and weekly market profile analysis. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start off first with the NQ session profile. We are going to move over into the NQ weekly and then do the same for ES. So what I'm looking at here is really this zone that NQ is operating in between 14,550-ish and we can call it 615. Now you can see that we have some overlapping, a lot of overlapping profile structure here. We've got point of control from June 2nd, value low from June 5th, overnight POC from the 5th and the 6th, initial balance high from the 6th, overnight POC from the 6th and the 7th, and we have our current overnight POC, very, very new profile here, right around 598-ish, 588-ish, sorry. So this is going to be a very important area for me moving forward, and if you want to keep it really simple, I would say look towards these highs. We could even create a new zone between 675 and 694, and break and hold above that very likely gets us further upside pressure, as my thought is there are a lot of stop losses from shorts up here in this area, and if price does push above here, likely a nice little liquidity run, probably up to our next whole number there at 750 or 14,800, and we will look at some upside levels on the weekly candlestick chart on that note as well. Now, if we do not move and hold above Friday's high or even hold above 620, I'll be looking for a move back down to test the value area low from Friday, which is also the high from Thursday at 530-ish. And if that breaks, I'll be looking for a move into this naked POC from Thursday at 14,489. Break below 489, look for a move to 14,460. Break below 460 likely gets us a move to Thursday's value area low at 429. And we have a zone here between Thursday's IB low and Thursday's value low, from 421 to 429. So that is going to be a nice little area to target as well if we do get some downside pressure. So with that said, of course, if this breaks, look to 380 and lower, but this should give you guys some great levels on NQ, especially starting out in the beginning of the week. Video tonight is probably going to be a little bit quicker as well. So let's move on into the NQ weekly profile. One thing that's very interesting to me that I want to point out is the monthly volume composite point of control right here at 590, last week's POC at 580, and then the prior week's POC at 14,576, right? So this, once again, is going to be a very, very important level. If we hold above this level, I'll be looking for a move to 627, 670, and then 694. And a break below this likely gets us some, some more decent downside. I would be looking towards this lower volume node right around 488. You can see we've got last week's value low at 14,440, and then we have this zone right here that I have my eye on as further downside, which is the high from the week of May 22nd and the value area low from the week of May 29th. So if that breaks, look for a move down to 14,305, 14,250. But just as a real world example here, for those of you guys who are using these macro levels, if we break 580, I mean, we could see a pretty significant move down from 580 all the way down to 4,800 points, and then 488 breaks. That could be a good short opportunity to 14,440. And perhaps, we could catch a bounce here at last week's value low and catch some long opportunity there as well. Now, of course, this is all speculation, absolutely not financial advice in the slightest, just some ideas for you guys and some levels for you guys to pay attention to. Okay, so this is actually a little interesting, is that ES looks a bit more bullish structure-wise than NQ. So I want to show you guys what I mean here. You can see ES is actually holding above basically the tops of the range from all last week. And if I go over to NQ, we are within this range. So we will see if ES actually switches things up and ES starts to lead. If so, and we get further upside pressure, I would look for NQ to follow there. But be very, very careful. If we cannot hold above 4,300 on ES, look for a move down to 4,294, 4,284. I'd be looking at this 4,275 level. That's the POC from the 7th of June, and then lower probably into these lows at around 4,265, 4,260-ish. And you can see here that we do have a bit of a support resistance flip where this area was resistance for quite a while in mid to late May. Then we moved above this 4240 area, and then we started to base that as the lows from the June 2nd session. So we'll say if we break 4249, we got this naked POC at 4228 staring us here. So I would keep an eye out for that as a potential downside target, but we are way up here at the highs. So first and foremost, make sure that you are doing your very best to trade on the side of strength, asking yourself who's in control. Buyers in control. Just try to join the buyers. Keep it very, very simple. The herd is always trying to be contrarian. Everybody wants to fade the trend. Everybody wants to, sell the tops and buy the bottoms, and that is a very low probability thing that will happen. So with that said, let's hop on over into the weekly charts for ES and NQ, and we will take a little bit of a look at some of the higher time frame candlestick charts. Okay, now with that said, ES profile on the weekly side looks definitely a little bit more bullish than NQ as well. And my thought would be, especially if we can move and hold above 4294, 4297 upon open tomorrow, very, very likely a test of last week's high, 4325, and then further upside if we get acceptance above that. A rejection below 4294, I'm looking for a pretty quick move down to 4274. Should offer up a good 20-point short opportunity if the other confluence factors are lining up. And we have last week's low at 4264.50 as well. So 74.50 breaks could be a nice little 10-point short scalp opportunity down to last week's low. And if 4264 breaks, look at the confluence that we have right around this area. So we've got 4234 value area high from the week of May 29th. We've got 4225 and 4221, the highs, the weekly highs for May 15th, and then the subsequent session of the week of May 22nd. So if 4265-ish breaks, I would look for a move down into this zone. We can be a little flexible. We also have a naked point of control on the weekly at 24 as well. So ton of confluence down there around between 20 and 25, and we've got a nice little target above that by about 10 points at 34 as well. So that would be my downside targets on ES. Now let's move on over into the weekly chart, and we will take a look at what we've got going on ES and NQ from a weekly candlestick perspective. So I've got the weekly ES chart pulled up here. Just going to draw this off again because it has been a habit, and the structure is holding beautifully. So got a little bull flag that we've got working. Not so little, actually. It's quite significant of a bull flag on the weekly chart here. Yes, this is a 2,400 point measured move from the lows, and I, just like to have a little fun with these kind of measured moves, and they do play out quite well. This one, it's quite a large measured move, right? 646 days possibly could take to play out, but the structure is valid, and it remains valid really until we start to break back down below 3,800. So with that in mind, the most immediate upside targets, once again, just to kind of reiterate from a candlestick perspective, 4370 is the next upside target above that last week's high that we were looking at, and that is this swing high from August 2022. Next level I would be looking at would be the wick high from that same August 2022 weekly candle, and that would be right around 4420. So next two upside targets that I haven't marked on the weekly profile are 4370 and then 4420. And if you guys want one more, maybe, 4450-ish is pretty solid, but it looks like there's good confluence around 4490. So I'd say 4490 is that third upside target on ES. And of course, you guys have plenty of downside targets on ES from the weekly perspective on that candlestick chart or the weekly market profile chart that we just looked at, pardon me. So with that in mind, let's pop over to the NQ weekly, and we will get into the levels here. Now, very, very similar structure, basically same bull flag. You can see that I still have it marked up. Measured move on NQ is basically move up to 21,2, if you will. But this looks, pretty solid for more upside until or unless we close a local top on the weekly. Local top on the weekly would have me leaning more towards further downside, which would be a close below 14,256 on a weekly candle. But if we do not close below last week's low, I will be looking at, I really like this 1550 area, to be honest. It's another swing high here from February 2022. That's a pretty solid level. We've got a little bit more confluence around 15,150 rather. And then I quite like this area right here around 15,450. So that is, some pretty solid upside targets. The first upside target is about 500 points away, 400 or 500 points away. So keep it tight. Make sure that you're paying attention to the session profile levels, the other weekly profile levels, and most importantly, in my opinion, just taking things one level at a time. You don't want to get too strongly biased. Just because bulls have been in control on the weekly does not mean that that's going to be the case. And furthermore, you got to make sure that you're doing your job as a trader by staying flexible and not getting attached to any one trade idea or any specific side. So one more thing before I wrap things up. First and foremost, I know this video was a little bit quicker. I've got some stuff to do this evening, so I wanted to just get you guys some solid levels, a little bit of analysis, and most importantly, remind you guys that tomorrow is very likely going to be contract rollover day. So I did this analysis this evening on the June 2023 contracts, the 623 contracts, but I will very likely be rolling over if the volume is higher on the new September 2023 contract. So for those of you guys who are not familiar with rollover or how to track when to roll over, I will post the link to this video that I have made to give you guys an exact system to watch the live volume. So I watch live daily volume on the Market Analyzer in NinjaTrader, and when the volume on the new contract, the September contract in this case, goes above the June contract, that is when I will roll. So very, very likely will be tomorrow. Another thing that I want to just point out is that we have a lot of high impact news events. I think we have PPI, we have CPI. Let me double check here. Yeah, we got a ton of stuff. So Tuesday we have CPI. We've got PPI on Wednesday, as well as federal funds rate. We also have an FOMC statement on Wednesday. We also have an FOMC press conference on Wednesday. We have core retail sales on Thursday, and we have unemployment claims on Thursday as well. So, and another thing I just want to remind you guys of is that we also have quad witching. So the quad witching combined with all of the high impact news events could bring a lot of uncertainty, chop, and rangy price action into the market. So I just wanted to plant that seed. And for those of you guys not familiar, quad witching or quadruple witching refers to the simultaneous expiration of stock index futures, stock index options, and single stock futures derivative contracts. This happens 4 times a year, and Friday is quad witching. So take it light Friday and just be aware of what is going on so that you don't get caught with your pants down. So with that in mind, I want to thank you guys, as always, for taking the time to watch this content. If you do enjoy these type of videos, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and click that bell notification to be notified every single time we post videos here on the channel. If you guys want to learn more about what we do here at The Trading Network, please check out our website, thetradingnetwork.io, where you can purchase access to our most popular offering, the Trading Network Pro Trader Bundle, which includes lifetime access to our private Discord. It also includes access to our Fundamentals of Futures Trading course, where I teach both a trending, ranging strategy, as well as a reversal strategy. And last but not least, you also get lifetime access to our proprietary indicator package. Now, if you guys are looking for a more tailored and catered one-on-one experience to your specific strengths and weaknesses as a trader, check out the one-on-one mentorship section of our website, where you can get direct access one-on-one to me for 20 one-hour Zoom sessions or 50 one-hour Zoom sessions. If you guys have any questions about any of the analysis I have discussed or any of the products that I have mentioned in this video, please feel free to shoot us an email at info@thetradingnetwork.io. You can also hit us up on Instagram at the.trading.network, and we will get back to you and help out as soon as we possibly can. Thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.